I'll start the recording. I didn't want to stop in the middle and go, oh, I got to record. All right. But let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. We're going to work with the pelvic floor. We're going to work with your the root, not in a super intense way. I want us to do something different today. So we're going to. And you have the option of, opting in or opting out. But let's go ahead, take a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Connect to the surface beneath you and all the way to the earth. Lengthen your spine and drop into the presence of your breath. You're welcome to bring in your ujjayi. And some of you might even find yourself better able to connect to the breath and its relationship to the pelvic floor. And I'm going to read David Whytes, Winter Apple. Let the apple ripen on the branch beyond your need to take it down. Let the coolness of autumn and the breathing, blowing wind test its adherence to endurance. Let the others fall. Wait longer than you would. Go against yourself. Find the pale nobility of quiet that ripening demands. Watch with patience as the silhouette emerges. And the leaves fall. See it become a solitary roundness against a graying sky. Let winter come and the first frost threaten, and then wake one morning to see the breath of winter has hallowed its redness with light. So that a full 2 months after you should have taken the apple down, you hold it in your closed hand at last and bite into the cool sweetness spread evenly through every single atom of a pale and yielding structure, so that you taste on that cold gray day not only the after reward of patience remembered, not only the summer sunlight of a postponed perfection, but the sweet inward stillness of the wait itself. And at the bottom of your next exhale, releasing any control on your breath. And honoring your patience. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. We have been asked to be very patient. So see if even now, if you can, just with that idea of patience, can you find the back of your body? Can you connect to your back body? Can you rest into that for a moment? Even fully supported all the way up through the core of your body. You feel the earth. You feel the support behind you, seen and unseen. And this morning, we'll open the practice. We'll simply chant the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. And then with your next exhale, bow your head towards your heart, honoring your patience as you allow whatever it is that's ripening inside of you during this long wait. And then you can release your hands and lift your gaze. Yes, it reminds me of the times I've waited, even when I didn't want to wait. There was no choice. So we have no choice right now but to wait. Well, we do have a choice. It's a matter of whether we're honoring what's been requested of us in regards to this. Sometimes we don't have a choice and we have to wait. It's like, I'm on an expedition and the weather sticks in and I'm 10 days later than I thought to get out. There's patience needed. So anyway, here we go. Let's come up to standing. And just walk over to a door, a wall, whatever you're going to use. Let's take a calf stretch. Let's face the door or the wall. Let's step left foot forward. Right foot is the back leg. Let's make both feet point straight ahead. You can walk your hands up the wall. Palms are on the wall. Some of you might be able to just touch the thumbs. Bending the left knee. Deepening the breath. And can you find the midpoint between pubic bone and the front of your sacrum? Can you connect to that place? Where is the midpoint between the pubic bone, a little bit higher than the pubic bone, and the front of the sacrum? Where is it? And from that place, reach into the right front root, the inner right pubic bone, the inner right tailbone, and perineum. Reach from the core into that root. And then place your felt sense at the inner right sitting bone, your inner right tailbone, the perineum. From that space on a diagonal, you reach inward back up to the core. So the one move took the pelvis the leg away from the pelvis. And this other move brings you the lumbar a little up and out of the pelvis. Okay, let's switch sides. We'll slide the hands down the wall. There's the left foot, point it straight ahead. Right foot forward, walk your hands up. Maybe the thumbs touch, maybe they don't, doesn't matter. Bend the front knee. Drop into your breathing. Go back and find the core again. Where is the midpoint between the pubic bone and the front of your sacrum? It takes time just to land in that spot. The hands are walking up high. And from that place, now you've got the knee bent. Yes, the front knee is bent. And then can you reach from the core of the pelvis, from that cherry tomato sized place into the left front root between pubic bone, inner sit bone, perineum. And then go into the back left root, your left inner sitting bone, your left tailbone, your perineum. Find that space and reach it back up towards the core so it comes a little more inward. All right, perfect. Okay, and then go ahead and we'll step back from that. Let's just take a half forward fold at the wall, facing the wall. We'll just take our hands at about the height of the shoulders and then walk the feet back. So you're in kind of a Uttanasana. And let's reach. We're reaching from that core again between pubic bone in front of sacrum towards the back root. So when you do that, do you feel the sit bones move away from each other? I'm still actively reaching from, my upper outer shoulder blades to my arms. And then we'll walk back towards the wall and let the arms dangle. Let's take your chair, or maybe it's not a chair. Maybe it's a table. Maybe it's the countertop. I don't know, whatever works for you. And you're going to take your blocks, possibly. There's all different kinds of furniture that work for this. But if I'm using a folding chair like this, you might have the hamstring length that needs you to put the blocks on the seat. You might not need blocks at all. You might just be on the couch or the stool or whatever. Or you might need more height and you might take the blocks up higher, onto the back. So you have to mess around with this a little. But once you figure out what furniture you're going to use, let's have you stand on your left foot first, and we're going to be facing a little like at a 45. We're not going to face toward the chair. We're going to work with the inner thigh right now. So you're going to stand on your left foot and take the right foot up. So make the height of the lifted leg be a height that allows you to have a straight leg. And on the down leg, you're going to have it's a little back. It's not straight down, right? It's just slightly back. So left leg is the standing leg, right leg is the lifted leg. You can take your right arm out onto your right leg. Notice if the hip crease, if your leg is like too high, just check in with yourself. Can you drop that? Can you make sure that hip crease goes all the way to the greater trochanter? on the lifted leg. So you don't, the right hip has some heaviness to it, the right outer hip. So you might have to adjust the height if your prop was too high. And then let's inhale, lift the left arm up. And with the exhale, you might find yourself either staying vertical, or maybe you came a little over the right leg. And I'm going to find that core again between the pubic bone and the front of the sacrum. And I'm going to reach into the right front, the root, that space between the inner pubic bone, inner right sitting bone, perineum. And then I'm going to inhale, come back up, support my leg, step down, and take the other side. The right foot will be the standing foot. Let's lift the left leg up. I'm going to make sure, is the height, can I really open the hip crease all the way out to where is the end of that crease? Sometimes we stop it mid-thigh, so keep it going. Feel a little heaviness on the outer left hip. Excuse me. Inhale, right arm up. Reach down into the standing leg. Oh, okay. And exhale, come up and over. Let's try this. This might work even better for some of you. Come back up to vertical. And now go into the inner left pubic bone, inner left sitting bone, and the perineum. And reach it towards the core. Reach from that left front root up to the core. You might find, more space going that direction. And then reach from the core all the way down into the standing leg. All right, let's inhale, come up. And let's step that down. We're going to take our strap, just one last thing with this prop. So we've got the strap. We can have a little loop in it. So a small loop in the strap. We'll go back to the left leg, and this time we're going to face the chair. Left foot is the standing foot. I'm going to take my right foot up. I'm going to put a strap around my right foot. The tail going around the left outer hip. I'm going to grab it with my right arm. Reach the left arm forward. And we're turning to the right. So I'm going to reach into the standing leg. Rotating right. Making sure the weight is balanced in the hips. Is the front hip crease on the right leg still open? Those of you with knee problems, this is similar. Stay with it. This is similar to when you lie on your back and you're doing Supta Padangusthasana. We're doing Asta Padangusthasana. So we're doing this standing, but you're going to feel this twist you're doing would be similar to taking the leg past midline. Yes, only you're standing and you're taking your torso, turning away from midline. So you might feel that sensation somewhere in that outer right leg. Let's turn back to center. Let's switch sides. Right foot to standing, left leg up, strap around the left foot, tail goes to the right outer hip, left hand behind, grabs onto the strap, right hand forward. All right, here we are again. Reaching down into the standing leg. You're turning towards the lifted leg. And noticing if the left hip is able to drop down. If you have, knee problems, you might put your felt sense right at the top of that fibula at the left outer knee and make sure that fibula is rolling in, not at the top, rolling out. Just right at that bone, roll that fibula in. You might feel when you do that, you're connected more into the ball of the big toe. All right, back to center. Let's take that off. And stand on both feet. We'll set our strap aside. If I'm using a chair, I can move it out of the way. Let's take our blocks and walk back towards the top of our mat. And take a Uttanasana. Go ahead, bow into Uttanasana. So whatever height blocks you need in order to have your legs straight, please do that. Great. And then inhale halfway. And some of us are going to step back, downward facing dog. We can still use the hands on blocks. We could, or you could have hands on the ground. We're going back to downward facing dog. Hands are either on blocks or the floor. I'm reaching from the core of the pelvis to the back root, both sides. And we're going to inhale to plank slowly. Exhale, downward dog. And can you be steady? We've been working with where's the core support? As you move back and as you move forward, you feel the lower abdomen finding tone, the middle, and the upper as you come into your plank. All right, and then we're going to lower both knees. Walk the hands back. Let's grab a blanket, put it on your mat. We'll crawl onto that blanket. We'll make our blocks tall. And let's step left foot forward. Right knee down. Let's pull the blocks back so that we are going to find lift in the torso. All right, here we go. Can you find that center, which is between pubic bone and the front of your sacrum? Where's the midpoint? From that midpoint, from what we call the core of the pelvis, the center of the pelvis, can you reach into the space that is bordered by right front perineum, right inner pubic bone, and right inner sitting bone? And then can you move from that right inner sitting bone to the, where's the tailbone, the inside of the tailbone and the perineum. So there's the back root. And you're lengthening up, just like you would do warrior one. So you're reaching core to front right root on the diagonal, and the back right root diagonally up towards the core. And then we're going to switch sides. Right foot forward, left knee back, letting the right knee travel forward. Travels forward of the right ankle. And then can you land with your felt sense into where is the center between pubic bone and inner tailbone? And from that place, I know sometimes I was thinking of it as being like off to the side, but it's not. It's the midpoint between the inner, just above the pubic bone, to the front of the sacrum. So it's in the middle. And then you're going to reach into that space at the left front pelvic floor between your inner pubic bone, your inner left sitting bone, and your perineum. And like David Whytes, he says in the poem, go against yourself. So even when you're like, oh my God, I can't do it, try a little more. Can you go into where is your inner sitting bone on the left? Where's the inner left tailbone? Where's the perineum? Where's the space in there? And reach it back up towards the core. All right, and then we're going to step back and we're going to take downward facing dog or puppy. You could have hands on blocks. You might have your hands on the floor. So I am asking you to really be present. And you can either just place the presence in your handprints on your mat, or you can also place your felt sense at the pelvic core. Be patient with yourself. And can you reach from that core into the back of your pelvic floor, the back root? What happens? What happens when you reach back? What's the difference between the two sides? All right, nice. Thank you so much. And then you're gonna walk your hands towards your feet. You can move your blanket out of the way if you can reach it there. Take the hands up on your hips and inhale, come up. Exhale, hands, Anjali Mudra. Let's release the arms. Let's take a block, please. And can you go back over to a wall, because this can be quite handy. I'm going to move my chair out of the way so you can see me better. If you take right foot forward, left foot back for warrior one, and let's put a block below the right shin. Below the right knee, on the right shin. So we're setting up for warrior one. So the left foot has a slight turn, the back leg. You're facing, the pelvis is facing the wall, the door, whatever. The block is below the knee, the hands to the wall. You could walk your hands up the wall. So palms are on the wall. And you might reach, again, can you find the center? Can you find that place that's between the pubic bone, just above it, and the front of the sacrum? Where is it? And can you reach it into the out to the back, left, front root? The front root of the back leg. So when you do you feel how the leg moves away from the pelvis? And then if you go into the back root, like we were talking about, the inner left tailbone, sitting bone, perineum, and you reached on the diagonal inward, do you feel yourself lifting up? You could take your left hand away from the wall. You might add the right. And then we'll release. Grab the block. Let's take the other side. Right foot back, turned out slightly. Left foot forward. Block below the left knee. You might walk the hands up the wall. And once again, you find pelvic core. Where is that center? Just above your pubic bone, midway between that and the front of your sacrum. You're going to reach from that core into that right front root. And then from the back right root, the inner right sitting bone, inner right tailbone, perineum, up to the core. You might add the right arm. Some of you might add the left arm. Virabhadrasana 1. Vira, there's a lot of vigor. And then we'll release. You can grab the block. Great. Step the back foot forward. Come back to your mat. Go wide stance. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So you can bow forward. Hands on your blocks. Feet are parallel, not pigeon-toed, parallel, like second toe. And we're bowing forward, and let's either with blocks or without, you're going to walk the hands forward like downward dog arms. And once again, you find that place, the midpoint between pubic bone, just above your pubic bone and your sacrum, the midpoint. Reach into the back root. Stay with it. Like he says, wait a little longer. Use your breathing like the wind, waiting, kind of testing our endurance. All right, then you'll walk the hands back. Let's shift them back up to your hips. Come up to standing. Step the feet together. Let's inhale, lift both arms. And exhale your hands back in front of your heart. One more time. Inhale, lift both of your arms. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. So as you bring your hands down, just remembering and honoring the patience, the waiting you've been doing. But we also know there are rewards to waiting. We do learn more about ourselves. We're less able to distract ourselves. And release your arms. All right. And then we're going to take a triangle pose. So we'll step the feet apart. You'll want to block at the right outer shin. We're going to the right. Both legs are going to be straight. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms out. And exhale, triangle. So you can take the back hand on the hip to begin. So on the back leg, remember when we were talking about the bone that goes between the pubic bone and the sitting bone? Can you take that bone, the ramus, can you take it back? So on the back leg, move from pubic bone all the way to the sitting bone. And then also on the front leg, can you draw the left greater trochanter into midline, so you feel the weight balance in the front foot, and then go to the back of the sacrum on your right, on your back leg. And can you broaden that all the way from the back of the right side of the sacrum, all the way out towards the greater trochanter? Make that broad. Keep that broad as you turn your torso and lift your arm. Inhale, rise. Turn the right foot in, step the feet together. And feel the difference. And then we'll take the other side. Step the feet apart. Block goes to the left outer shin or ankle. When you're ready, inhale, lift the arms. Then exhale, triangle. Going from the right pubic bone to the right sitting bone, lengthen that direction. From the right pubic bone to the right sitting bone, take it back. Draw the right or the left outer hip, the front one, into midline. So you can feel what happens. And on the back leg, that space between the right side of the sacrum and all the way out to the greater trochanter, broaden that so you're not compressing in there. That's it. And then at least lengthen the head. Keep the head long. If you need to change the height of the blocks, you could do that. But do it from the change that you feel in the spine and the legs. I think you're feeling yourself wanting to go lower. Go ahead. But make sure that you get the length that's happening with it. You're welcome to take the arm up. And so what you might do, Lise, is did you lengthen from your right pubic bone to the right inner sitting bone on the back leg? Yeah, so there's that line, but I see that eagerness in you, and I don't want to deter that. That's kind of the like go beyond yourself place. So you're really looking for that length, and you got it. Keep going with it. And then we're going to inhale and come on up. Great. Step the feet together. Inhale, lift both of your arms. Exhale, your hands in front of your heart. Can we take another Uttanasana? So we might have our blocks. We can take the arms up and bow forward. All right. And then let's go ahead, inhale halfway. And then we're going to bring both knees down to the floor. And if your knees are okay, we'll just sit back for a moment. And this is not a big twist. This is a really gentle twist. So you might take your right hand behind you, left hand across. So as you do this really simple twist, stay broad. So you're turning towards your right. Broaden the back of the right side of from sacrum to the outer right hip. Back to center. Exhale, going the other way. So broadening the back of the left sacrum all the way to the back of the greater trochanter on the side you're turning towards. All right, and back to center. Can we take a couple blankets for a moment and they're folded in half lengthwise. One. Some of us might want to. We're going to sit upon that and we're going to take the legs wide apart. Upavista. Upavista Konasana. I'm sitting on the very edge of my stack so that my pubic bone is able to drop forward. And my hands out in front of me to support me. I want to check my knees are pointing upward. They're not rolling in. I'm not going to let my legs roll in. I want to keep my legs in like neutral. Even as some of us let the pelvis tilt forward, we're not taking the legs with us and we walk our hands out. And some of you will be fine just staying vertical. Some of you will have the ability to come a little forward. So here, if I go to the back root, even if I'm vertical, if I go to the space between my tailbone, sit bones, and perineum, I'm going to reach up towards the core of my pelvis. And I also want to encourage you to use your breath. Use the breath to reach all the way in to the inner thighs. All right, and then we'll walk back. Take the hands under the knees and lift the legs back up to center. Take the legs straight ahead for a moment. All right. So I know I haven't even done this with you on Zoom. We did it in class, but it's been a long time. And so you have an option here of visiting somewhere maybe you haven't been in a while. And if you don't want to visit it, that's okay. But some of you might enjoy just seeing where you're at and in Hanumanasana. So I'm going to pull, if I have a slick floor, I'm going to use my slick floor. And if you don't, it's okay. You could use a sock or something. And some of us might want 2 blocks end to end. Some of you might want a bolster on top of that. Some of you don't have a bolster. So some of you might take, you know, blankets, like all your blankets that you have in your house. I don't know. All right. Why then? So the Hanumanasana. So if I take my right foot forward for just a moment of splits, I'm going to reach from on the back leg from the front root to the core, and from the core from the core to the front root. Oh, there we go. And from the back root up to the core. Did you give it a roll? Hanumanasana. And then we can try the other side. So you can make your stack as high as you need it. You might also, you know, don't worry if your front leg is a little bent. It's fine. You're just messing around in somewhere you haven't messed around, right? Since for a while. So you can check your second side. You can make this stack as high as you need it to be. And you can can you find still the center of the pelvis? And the reaching down into the front root of the back leg, and from the back root back up. This is important. All right. And then we come back out again. And you're like, my gosh, Lynn, really? And then I'm gonna roll my mat back out. Where is it? Move my blocks out of the way. And we're gonna sit in Marichyasana. So you might have height. You could sit up on your bolster, or maybe you're sitting upon the height of the blankets you just had. 2 or 3. Sit up tall. Let's take your right leg long and left foot on the ground. You might need a block to go behind you. All right. So we could either hug the front knee with your right arm and the left hand behind you on the block or on the ground. Or some of you might have the outer elbow, but whatever you've got, I want you to broaden the back of the pelvis, the whole back of the pelvis. The left side broadens from midline, the right side broadens from midline. And turn just the gaze back to the right, back to look at the big toe. All right, release that. Let's do the other side. So right hand behind, either hug this knee. That's completely fine to broaden the back of the pelvis. Or take the outer elbow there. Broadening the back. Broadening that space at the back of the pelvis. Bringing the gaze back towards the front foot. Even as you broaden from midline out to the back of the greater trochanter on the right. And also midline all the way to the back of the greater trochanter on the left. And then release. Let's take both legs straight. Can we take your strap for a moment? And just put it around your feet just for a moment of Paschimottanasana. So again, we could be vertical, or we might be just slightly forward. Or farther, depending on what your legs let you do. Some of you have, more hamstring length than others. Using the breath like the wind in the body, like waiting, patiently waiting, breathing. Just like he waited, as we have I know that scene of one apple is very familiar. All right, and then go ahead and come back up to sitting, and we'll bend the knees. All right, and then I want to take the Yogi Mudrasana for pranayama, if you remember this one, where sometimes I like to have a cushion under my legs. So I might open my blanket up for that experience. Maybe you did that already anyway. If your body is okay in sitting this way, then that's great. If not, you could sit cross-legged, with enough height under you. If you don't want to sit kneeling, maybe you sit this way. Maybe you have, you go, well, am I able to bow forward? And you kind of get all this, how would this work? So you kind of go, or should I sit in a chair? What works? Or can I put, a rolled up washcloth behind my knees? Is that the kind of space my knees need? Whichever height you've been working at, where you figured out with your hands behind you how to rest the forehead down without lifting the hips up. Yeah? And then when you're ready, if you remember, if you already know it, you can go ahead and begin. But basically, the inhale, and you've got the hands behind you. So we'll begin with a deep inhale and a soft exhale. And then you inhale at the top. And you exhale as you come forward. The forehead touches down at the bottom of the exhale. You hold the exhale out. Until your body feels that urge to inhale, and you come back up. Exhale, you're going back down. And can you do 5 more rounds of this breath? After your next inhale, you're welcome to either go ahead and move yourself to Shavasana, keeping that quiet mind. Let the apple ripen on the branch beyond your need to take it down. Let the coolness of autumn and the breathing, blowing wind test its adherence to endurance. Let the others fall. Wait longer than you would. Go against yourself. Find the pale nobility of quiet that ripening demands. Watch with patience as the silhouette emerges and the leaves fall. See it become a solitary roundness against a graying sky. Let winter come, and the first frost threaten and then wake one morning to see the breath of winter has hallowed its redness with light, so that a full 2 months after you should have taken the apple down, you hold it in your closed hand at last and bite into the cool sweetness, spread evenly through every single atom of a pale and yielding structure. so that you taste on that cold, gray day not only the after reward of a patience remembered, not only the summer sunlight of a postponed perfection, but the sweet inward stillness of the weight itself. And allowing your breath to deepen. And beginning to awaken your body, making a mindful transition to one side. Using the arms to help bring yourself back to sitting. And then honoring your patience, your willingness, your curiosity, and the invitation this time offers. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.